And I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. I've been here before. Good morning. Hi. Thank you guys for coming back to my vlog. I was going to say this one's going to be up a little late, but I don't think it really matters because I think I had one other viewer who watched my video last week, which is, it's okay. We're building from the ground up. I'm very, very thankful for that. This week I was thinking about the new year. Oh, happy new year, right? It's 2026 finally, thank God, right? But this week I was thinking about it becoming the new year, and then also what my new year was like last year. What did I do? What was I thinking about? And I remembered that God had said to me very early on in the year, actually just past the new year, he said, you're going to be living a very different life, right? And I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? Because when he says stuff like that, it can be it could be good, it could be jarring, it could be different, it can just be a lot of things that you were anticipating. And in true form and fashion, it was exactly that. I was thinking in the context of law school. I had just submitted my law school applications. I was like, yes, this is it. I've been waiting my whole life for this, working towards this one, not this one thing, but working towards this thing. I was like, yeah, of course, my life is going to be very different. That's where my mind went. And then in a moment, I think in that moment, actually, there was a shift, right? And I didn't notice it right away because it was small, but it was persistent. So it started out like a little blip. It was just like, oh, your life is going to change. Things are going to be very, very different. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then it started to kind of expand. And God's like, okay, you got to start getting rid of things. You got to start, lightening the load. And I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. I've been here before. And I have. Years ago, actually multiple times, whenever I've been in a season like this where God has said to me, hey, you're going to be living a very different life, where things are getting ready to change, he tells me to get rid of things. Cool. But in the past, my response was to hold on to those things, to hold on to it with dear life, because I think it was maybe stemming from a place of lack and a lack of trust, lack for me believing that nothing else better could come, but then also a lack of trust in God. When I first was introduced to this concept, I was like a baby Christian, if you will. I just given my life over to God, even though I was raised in the church. Because I felt like God had called me to walk with him, and he was very specific, very clear about that. And I didn't fight it, right? Because leading up to that point, he basically had ripped everything out of my life. So I said, well, I have nothing else. I guess this is the way I'm gonna go, right? And I know that sounds very defeatist, but it's been very transformative. And I think this season, this year was supposed to be that as well. And I think in my humanity and my ego, perhaps, I was like, okay, let me get ahead of this. Let me try and get rid of the stuff that God's telling me to get rid of as quickly as possible. And that way I don't have to deal with the wrath, if you will, that maiming feeling when he comes in and corrects and takes things away and takes people and situations away from me. And I just didn't want to repeat that. So I'm like, yes, let me try and do what I can. At the end of 2025, I'm looking around, I'm like, all right, I think I've gotten rid of everything you've told me to get rid of, right? We should be good. And then on Christmas Eve, I wake up to find that he had taken something else from me. And the only reason I know it was him taking it is because of everything I just said. He was already telling me, you got to get rid of this, you got to get rid of that. So I think it was good that I did preemptively try to, be obedient to what God was telling me. But in losing the thing that I lost on Christmas Eve, I think there's an element of release that has to happen in a way that you are not anticipating. You know what I mean? And I was so shocked by this whole loss. I was like, I cannot believe this, God. The thing that I lost is something that I perceive that God had given to me personally. I felt like he had handed it to me on a golden platter. And I was like, I thought we were good. I didn't even realize that was a problem. I was upset. I was sad, right? And I pray all the time, but this particular day, I really I got in my prayer closet, got on my prayer blanket. I was like, hey, Vichy, so I'm waving the white flag. I do not have any more fight in me. And I'm trying to figure out what you're telling me to do, but I'm lost, I'm confused, and I don't understand, right? It was less of a release and more of a surrender. like a knee-jerk reaction. It's like I just have to lay myself down in this way, right? I say myself, but it wasn't really myself. It was an old way of thinking. It was my mentality that everything needs to be a dogfight. Everything I need to scratch and claw and earn in a certain way. There's still validity in earning things, and I'll never like fully turn away from that ideology. However, I think the new life that God was trying to lead me to requires me to go with the flow, as opposed to trying to change situations to my whim. You know what I mean? After taking the time to sit with God and pray with him and connect with him on the specific loss, he told me, not even told me, he basically had to pick me up because I didn't have the energy. Like I said, not only did I not have the fight, I didn't have the energy to even start the process. I said, hey God, I need help. I need help, right? And in doing that, it's been able to illuminate a path for me that is very easy. And like I said, just like a flow state, if you will. I'm still figuring it out. It's just gonna require me to, like I said, surrender my fight so that God can expand my faith. So I hope this video sounds coherent, like, you know, kind of like pulling it together very quickly. But if you guys have any experience with that, about surrendering, an experience about expansion, an experience about what it looks like on the other side of these moments of release, please put them in the comments. I'd love to like hear from other people, like, you know, and perhaps what you say in the comments can help someone else. With everything that's going on in the world right now, we need that. I think we all need a little bit of help from as many places that we can get it, and perhaps like some community. So thank you again for coming to watch my video. I appreciate it. Sorry that it was late. Again, not that it matters, because I don't think anyone's gonna watch it or was looking to watch it at 10 a.m. But I'm going to edit it right now. I'm going to upload it. I can't wait to see you guys next week, right? Oh my God. I'm trying to take pictures so I can have pictures for my thumbnail, but I keep pressing the freaking video